Hi trader, Tina here once again from ShortMeTina.com with my daily recap. Before we get underway, I have a couple of things I want to go over, including a particular comment I recently received from a viewer. But before we do that, if this is your very first time tuning into a ShortMeTina video, we would like to say welcome. Do us a solid comment in the comment section. Let us know your name. Let us know how you found us. Say hi. I generally say hi back. If you are returning, welcome back. Once again, I know you could be doing a gazillion other things at this time, but in this moment, you choose to spend it with me, and for that, we are forever grateful. So as usual, we are going to start off this session with our mission statement. What is it? It is to build a powerhouse of successful traders and to help you find more winners. We conclude if you win, we win. For that to happen, please in the comment section, identify what is your biggest frustration in reaching your trading goals, right? Your biggest frustration. Like this particular viewer indicated, he said, and I will get to that in a little bit. I will identify his frustrations and just generally comment on it. But he said, he or she, my frustration is that none of my trades have been going my way lately. None of them. Always some sort of huge move happens against me right now. The unexpected happens and it is stressing me out, right? Does this sound familiar? Kind of, right? Again, 3 pillars of successful trading. I'm going to link that video. Please listen to it. Please listen to it, because that viewer, that listener that commented and stated the unexpected happens and it is stressing him out, that falls under the realm of the third identified pillar, right? There's 3. That falls under the third identified pillar. So make sure you catch that video. And also, too, to get to the heart of what he's going through, what you might be going through to improve, it is good to review your performance, whether it's weekly, monthly, daily. Just get in the habit of doing it. You will find so many things that are new to you, revelations all over the place. So make sure that you review your performance. I'm going to link a video essentially walking you through what areas you should be paying attention to. So let's get underway. Once again, to that comment, let me read it once more. So this particular viewer, she blocked out his or her name. If you want to identify yourself, feel free to do so in the comments section. So let's dissect this a little bit. I'm going to try not to spend too much time on it, because I do want to analyze a few stocks, but this particular comment jumped out at me so much so that I said, you know what, let me do a video. So what is it? My frustration is that none of my trades have been going my way lately. None. Always some sort of huge move happens against me right now. The unexpected happens and it's stressing me out. So a couple of thoughts based on that particular comment. And we can title this Confessions of a Stock Operator. That would be me. All right. So number 1, it happens, right? Not every system will experience, including mine, period of misses. Essentially meaning that there are going to be times where you are really batting a good average, like everything seems to work. Every trade you put on, it's almost like you and the market are like intertwined seamlessly. Then there's going to come a time where, for whatever reason, those trades that normally worked will stop working. And he's right, or she's right. It does get a bit frustrating. So what I would suggest, my opinion, if I was talking to, younger Tina, who also have experienced much of what this particular viewer commented on, I would say, well, you need to evaluate your system. I don't know the type of system that you're trading, but you need to make sure that this system actually works. Like, I don't know if you've been trading for a few months and maybe you've been quote unquote lucky, or if you've been in the market for about 5 or 6 years and your system just stopped working. So the first thing I would do, again, back to evaluating your performance, you need to evaluate your system to ensure right, that your system is actually a profitable one, and the last 2 or 3 months was just kind of like a one-off, right? You need to ensure that your system actually makes sense and it's actually going to produce money in the longer term. You also need to see whether or not your system, right, if it's a good system, maybe it's just not working in this environment, right? Maybe you do have a good system, but for whatever reason, in this moment, it is just not clicking with what's going on in the stock market. You need to ensure, because if you have a bad system, right, then you need to find a profitable one. You need to find a good system. If your system is good, it's just the environment, then I would say, moving on to step 2, if you have a good system and it's just the environment, then you can really just stop trading. You don't always need to be in the markets. And this really blows my mind. Like, if I need to stop trading, honestly, and I do have parameters set in place for myself, but if I need to stop trading for any length of time because things just aren't working, I will stop trading. Now, for a lot of newer traders or a lot of people who just need to see some type of action in the market, this might be hard for them to do. I understand that. So if you don't want to stop trading altogether, maybe you can reduce your equity per trade until you more or less get back into the groove of things, right? Does that make sense? So maybe if you're trading 10,000 per trade and things aren't working out right now, maybe you can reduce that to about 2,000 or 3,000 per trade until you get back into the swing of things, right? That's what I'd be telling my younger self if this was happening to me. To your other comment where you say, always some sort of huge move happens against me right now. I should say no account should experience any huge moves to the downside and often. So if you're using words like always and huge move happens against me, then you really need to evaluate, I would say, one, what exactly you're trading, the instruments that you're trading, the stocks that you're trading. And I would also, what was point 2? There is a point 2. That's it. And then I would also pay attention to, and it goes back to number 2, equity per trade. I'd also be paying attention to my position size. If you're having these huge drawdowns, maybe you're trading too largely. And this is an interesting one. When you said the unexpected happens and it's stressing me out, for when trading, expect the unexpected. You must. Again, Confessions of a Stock Operator operating for 15 years. I hope this was helpful. So everyone else, comment in the comment section. Let me know if you agree with my confessions or tell me what your frustrations are. I can't get to all of the questions, but maybe every so often if one jumps out at me like this one did, I can get to them. So let's recap the overall markets. All right, so we have the SPY S&P 500 daily chart dating back to 2017. We're off on the day, closed at 270.78. It makes sense because the ETF ran into resistance. We can call that resistance 293 to 295. You can see it ran into it here in in September of 2018. We had the pullback and we had the run up. Back in May of 2019, we ran into that 293, 295 area. We pulled back. Now, third time, we ran into 293 to 295. We pulled back here and we're sitting here at 290.78. So going forward, we've already passed, in my opinion, what was once resistance, now support of 280 to 282. That's this area around here. As long as we can stay above here and closer to 293 to 295, I think it will eventually resolve itself to the upside. And that's all I'm paying attention to for this SPY. What else? IWM daily chart closed at 151.12. So shorter term support 148, which is sort of up here. Shorter term support 148 to 150. We're close to that, as I've indicated before. As long as we can hold that, things should be okay. I do not want us really drifting towards 148 to 150. I'd like us trading more so closer to resistance of 160. Again, if we break 148 to 150 like we did here, I'm not so sure we'll be able to rebound just as quickly as we did last time. So going into the remainder of this week, beginning of the third quarter, I really would like for the IWM to stay away from shorter term support of 148 to 150. If we break that, things start to look a bit more bleak in my opinion, but let's see. We closed at 151.12 heading into tomorrow. Let's pay attention to today's low of 151. What else? All right, so we have Zynga. The breakdown is occurring like I anticipated, off about 2% on the day. It took some time, but again, we kept revisiting this support area, once resistance of $6. We revisited. I said, well, if it continues to revisit this, chances are it's going to break. It took a while. We broke yesterday. Today, in my opinion, we broke in a meaningful way. Closed at 587. The low clocked in at 587 as well. So that indicates to me that tomorrow, potentially heading into the remainder of the week, there's a chance we will pull back a little bit more. But 2019, the back end, I still see this as an $8 stock, providing that the bull market remains. I still see this as an $8 stock. So for me, it's getting closer and closer to a buy, in my opinion. Full disclaimer, full disclosure, I remain long. We went long. Ticker ZNGA when the stock was trading at the low to mid threes around here. So we were able to partake in this huge run up. What else? All right, so quick update on JD daily charts into stock. IPO'd back in 2014. We went long the stock right, well, not here, but in this area, right? Support bounce. We anticipated or bet on the fact that support, we would get a bounce again, and we did. Going long around 1920, saw the stock run up to around $31, hence why I say it's always best to hold. Pull back here to 25. Got a little skeptical here, said it needed to get back above 28, and so far it's hanging out above 28. As long as it can stay above 28, I think we have a real shot at revisiting resistance here of $35. Still long if we can remain in that $28 area. What else? Then we have ticker NIO, off about 1.5% on the day, closed at 260. Full disclaimer, full disclosure, we tried to get into this trade around 2 to 3 times. We missed it on all fronts. We bought the lower end of the channel here around 6. Didn't hold. We got stopped out. We tried it again around here. Actually, so we only bought it twice. We tried it again around here, this $4 mark, thinking that was support. Didn't happen. We got stopped out. Hence, look, it's not always going to work out. You just have to know when to actually let go and say, I will try again. So sitting here at 260, am I going to buy this area here? Absolutely not. For me, the stock going from a high of $13.80 to a low of 260, that's severe damage in about a 7 to 8 month period. The stock needs time to settle or consolidate. Then it needs to get a next leg up, in my opinion, before I go long. So sitting here at 260, we need to see a lot of sideways action here, followed by an uptrend before I would jump into this stock. So for now, I'm staying away. What else? All right, so comparing and contrasting, ZTS here is another stock that we went long that worked out in a huge way. When we went long the stock, it was trading in the low, around the low to mid 90s. So with a recent high of 116.47, great stock to not only long and buy, but also a great stock to hold. This stock was not the best in terms of quality trades, but it did fit into one of the patterns that we like to trade, which is the channel, hence why we took it. But seeing this here, this decrease, this descending line here makes me say that, well, you know what, at this moment, ticker NIO, and this is NIO right here, ticker NIO is not a stock to long. ZTS is a stock to long. Remember I said let's do a compare and contrast on a most basic level. If you are looking to stocks to long, you want your stocks to look something like this going up. I know it's simple, but it helps. If you want stocks to short, you want to find stocks that are doing things like this. And this is not for your sophisticated investor. There's plenty of investors that will know how to short this in a very meaningful way or long this in a very meaningful way. Trading essentially counter trend, but that's a skill that develops over time. If you are new to trading, meaning you've been trading for under 3 or 4 years and you do not have that level of sophistication as of yet, keep it really simple. Long stocks that are going up, sell short or avoid stocks that are going down on the long side. So back to that initial commenter who indicated that he was frustrated because the stocks were moving against him, he needs to, or she needs to, I don't know why I keep saying he or she needs to pull up a chart of the stocks. This is back to the evaluation and see, are the long trades that I've been taking, are the stocks looking like this? or are they looking like this? And if they're looking like NIO, it makes sense why the stocks are moving against him. At any rate, with ZTS, although we close it around 113, went as high as 116, in my opinion, as long as it can stay above like 100, I still see 120 in the cards. What else? All right, ticker PYX daily chart up about 26% on the day. Congrats to all the bulls. Congrats to the longs. Closed at 1704, but volume is telling a different story here. It seems to be an immense amount of selling, in my opinion. High clocked it at 1820, low clocked it at 16. The opening close was essentially the same. We opened at 1710, closed at 1704. This looks like a doji, in my opinion, this particular candle. And from what we know about candlestick charting and dojis, a potential reversal or potential change of trend might occur. So heading into tomorrow, you want to pay attention to, obviously, today's close of 1704. If we open up below that, chances are you're going to see selling in this gap here of around 1473. Pardon, that's not the gap. This gap here of around 1343 might get filled. What else? And then we have ticker ACER daily chart off north of 80% on the day. I don't know what happened, but any stock that's off about 80% on the day is a no bueno. Closed at 412 today. The low clocked in at 383. So we're off from a little bit from today's lows. So again, any stock that sheds 80% in one day, you're going to get what we call your dead cat bounces. So do not be surprised if this stock is up 9, 10, even 15%. But make no mistakes. The trend or the trade really is to the downside. Obviously, you want to pay attention to today's low of 383. The minute the stock takes that out, things get dire from there. I would stay away. I wouldn't even play the dead cat bounce. What else? All right, so let's wrap it up and round it out with ticker GMDA daily chart. Stock is off about 30% on the day, closed at 498. The low clocked in at 495. If you're tuned in, you know what I'm going to say. If a stock closes close to the low of the day, chances are the selling will continue into the following trading day or the following trading week. Now, similar to ticker ACER, it's off a lot in one day. It's off over 31%. So do not be surprised if you see that 10-15% move to the upside, what we call a dead cat bounce. But in my opinion, the move or the trend is to the downside. So even if we get that 10-15% move in one day, the trade or the trend is to the downside. So pay attention to 495. If it takes that out at some point, expect this stock to either trade in the low fours to the upper threes. And that's kind of it. Tina here once again from ShortMeTina.com. If you enjoyed any portion of this video, I'd like for you to do three things for me. One, comment in the comment section, right? I analyzed the SPY, IWM, Zynga, GMDA, ACER, and a few other stocks. Do you agree, disagree? What do you feel in terms of what I am saying? Comment. Also, two, identify what your biggest frustration is in trading. You might be that one person that I pick their frustration to analyze, similar to what I did at the beginning of the video. That's the first thing. Secondly, I do videos Monday through Friday. So if you want to be notified when I upload one, make sure you're subscribed to our YouTube channel at ShortMeTina. Ensure notification bell is turned on. Oh, and lastly, I've been trading for well over 15 years, hence that really creative title, Confessions of a Stock Operator. If you think you can learn anything from me, then head on over to ShortMeTina.com, sign up, become a member. Thank you for listening, and as always, thank you for the support. I will talk